Also, I'm sure I'm going to be having to bleep out a lot of this. Hey YouTube, welcome back to SIBZ, West Coast, East Coast siblings, where we cover your favorite movies and television. And this week, we are doing something a little bit different. We are going to be covering The Bachelorette Season 17. I have been wanting to cover this show for a long time, and timing just hasn't worked out. But we are doing it tonight. I am so excited. So if you're new to the channel, hit subscribe so you can be notified of all of my coverage on The Bachelorette. I will be checking in every single week, talking about all of the drama. Well, if you're a regular to this channel, as always, like this video if you like this video, comment, subscribe, and click the bell so you can be notified of all things SIBZ. I will also be covering Gossip Girl on HBO Max whenever that comes out. The way that I'm going to do this is we're going to talk about the most important things that happened in the episode, because let's be honest, The Bachelor and The Bachelorette can be full of the most drama-filled episode ever, and then like it's pretty basic until the last 30 seconds. So I'm going to give you a highlight reel of all of the big things that happened and some important things to look out for, just to let you guys know. I know Bachelor Nation is like super intense about all of these things. I don't know any spoilers. So our Bachelorette is Katie Thurston. Speaking of thrusting, though, Katie is a very sexually positive woman. Yeah, I mean, honestly, to me, she seems pretty basic. She's just like your average white girl. She seems very nice and very likable, but there's nothing about her that makes me go, oh, I really want to watch The Bachelorette this year. But I've been proven wrong on many occasions. So basically, she is looking for love. She's not trying to play any games. She wants someone who can be, you know, silly and goofy like her, open, honest, genuine like her, but, you know, still be able to have a good time and also have deep conversations. But it's like, who isn't looking for that in a relationship, am I right? What's huge this season, and I totally missed it and felt it, is that Chris Harrison, our captain of the ship, is not the host this year. Obviously, if you haven't read in the news, there's been some drama about Harrison, and he's decided to take a step back, or ABC has fired him. And in his place, we have Tayshia, last year's Bachelorette for half the season, and Caitlyn. It'll be interesting to see how the two of them juggle this dynamic. In this first episode, they were very sweet. I think it's actually a cool idea to have previous Bachelorettes kind of help guide the current Bachelorette to her man. But I do miss Harrison. I miss his voice. I miss his just kind genuineness in terms of helping the ladies along. Anyway, so the next big thing, because I told you guys we're gonna get right to it, we meet the guys, and we meet a lot of interesting guys. I'm gonna go through a couple of like guys who stood out to me in terms of presentation. Not gonna lie, I think a lot of them are good looking, but I didn't see any like, oh man, like that's it, like that's gonna be it for Katie. And I usually do, you know, and I like a good looking man, so I just wasn't feeling anything with any of them first night like I usually do, but it's just the first night. So the first impression rose is awarded to Greg. Now, Greg has to be just the most nervous and awkward dude, but it does seem like under his jittery nerves, he has a really sweet, kind exterior. And he and Katie seem to click, not gonna lie. They share a little smooch. Katie has shared 2 kisses. I will share with whom the second kiss, or I guess the first kiss, was awarded later. My biggest problem with Greg is that in their one-on-one time, he starts telling Katie the story about how like his niece makes really, really good jewelry, and she's a little bit older, and you know, people are really like lining up to like get her jewelry and whatnot, so he put a good word in. He thinks it might be too early to give her a gift on the first date, but you know, he likes her and he wants to do it, and we're on The Bachelorette, right? And then he pulls out this macaroni noodle necklace, and then he tells her it's not gold, it's noodles. Bro, I don't think anybody thought those noodles were gold. I just think maybe because he was nervous, the joke didn't land, and so I was genuinely thinking that maybe his like 12 or 13-year-old niece was making like really pretty handmade jewelry, but no, his 3-year-old niece made her a noodle necklace. So that's Greg. I think he'll last. He seems like a nice, genuine, sweet guy. So now let's talk about some of the guys' entrances. I also just want to note too, I feel like we have a lot of guys in this season whose names are like doubles. Like we have 2 Andrews, 2 Michaels, 2 Connors, you know, like so many people. First we have Cody, who shows up with a blow-up doll. Now, to be honest, I was like, Yeah, okay, but Katie showed up with a vibrator. So what can we really say about those things, you know? Also, I'm sure I'm gonna be having to bleep out a lot of this because YouTube and its wonderful, wonderful robots that catch everything that you say. There was this dude named Gabriel. He's a good-looking guy. He reminds me of like Topher Grace. And he's like, this has been a stressful time and I really appreciate hugs. And I'm like, oh my gosh, here we go. He's gonna try to cop a feel. And he gives her a hug, right? And then he's like, and we're gonna breathe together. And it's like, it's just a little creepy. Next, James. So a box arrives, and after a very long time of waiting, nothing comes out of the box. Out of the box, whoa, out of the box, woo. Ah, flashback. James comes out of the box, and he seems like a nice guy, and even though his entrance was really quirky and very prolonged, he's in the top 22. So it was weird, but good job, James, I mean. So there's another guy named Kyle who says, oh, I'm gonna make this brief, and digs in his pants and rips out his boxer briefs. And I'm like, nobody wanted to see that. And then he's like waving them around when he's talking to the other guys and throws them on the floor, and they look dirty. Ugh. And then there's Andrew, right? So I liked Andrew. I think he comes off mad chill, but he comes up to her and starts doing this British accent. And then he kept asking her about it. He was like, was it the accent? Did you not like my accent? What? I'm like, you're not an actor. What do you care? But I mean, he thought it was really impressive. So whatever. Katie seemed to like it as well. Then there was Courtney with his soliloquy of cues. Finally, but certainly not least, was Connor B. Now I saved Connor B for last because Connor came dressed as a cat and it really got Katie. She spent some extra time with him and Connor B got himself a little smoochy smooch before Katie awarded the rose to Greg. So Connor definitely seemed like he was in there, and I would say that was a big surprise for this episode that he didn't get the first impression rose. But Connor's definitely, I would say, a number 2. He's definitely solid in there like Greg. I would say one of the last big things that happened in this episode was the trailer for the rest of the season where we get Blake. Oh, snap! Blake from Claire's season, who couldn't get himself together after Claire broke his heart, even though he tried with Tayshia, and then that was an epic fail. He is back again. And in the trailer, he says that he thinks Katie is the one. And I'm like, bro, how could you know that? You don't know her. Anyway, I'm really excited to see where Blake goes because I liked Blake from the jump. I always thought he was like a cool dude. So I'm very interested to see what happens between Blake and Katie. It seems like he pulls a say anything and has a stereo box outside of her window. So you guys, that is your highlight reel from The Bachelorette Season 17, Episode 1. If you're down for the ride for me, don't forget to like this video if you like this video and subscribe so we can talk about The Bachelorette every single week that it's on television. Bachelor Nation is so intense and I'm ready to dip my toe in. Anyway, as always, thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to comment below and let me know what you think. Do you have your solid picks already? I don't know. I'm excited about Katie's journey to find love. All right, you guys, I will see you next week.